It's been a while that fear and death has thrown its shadow on Derry once again. Pennywise is back to the town. Children being lost and murdered, fear was attacking everyone. Lots of innocent people burnt alive into a barn. We lost Richie, an innocent child who fought to save his friends. Such a mess. And it seems people in Derry don't want to believe in his presence. I'm talking about Pennywise. They still repeating the same old code over and over again until a deep fog appears roaming the town, putting people into panic and chaos, and maybe finally to force them believe in its coming back and make them to feel its presence. Finally, we watched episode finale, and I have to say, such an amazing episode. Me, myself, really enjoyed. Acting was stunned me, and how cinematography and design were playing harmonically to portray an absolute disharmony, playing with mind through Bill Skarsgård's professional acting as Pennywise, the little dancer clown. He was fully acknowledged of a clown manner of act, gestures and step-by-step movements. And the most important part was the improvisation, which is the exact thing a clown does. He used in his acting and created another eternal cinematic role in advance. And after all, appearance of innocent soul of Richie against the dark, guilty, filthy trickster murder evil spirit of Derry to help his friends to trap it once again. However, for only another 27 years. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the Movie Gangstar. And in this review, I'm going to discuss on Welcome to Derry Season 1 finale episode, and through an analytical breakdown, I'm going to have a prediction on what will happen in next season. We can't wait for it, of course. But as ever, before I begin, hit the thumbs up and like the video, and share it through your friends and communities, fans of great Stephen King, horror TV shows and movies, and the most Pennywise. Subscribe to my channel to support me, and make sure to turn the bell to be the first one watching my next reviews, breakdowns and videos as I uploaded them. Welcome to Derry, and let's discuss about it. As them running into absolute chaos, panic and confusion, Eat at the school preparing his special show for children. But Eat doesn't have any plans to eat them at least at once. Eat needs to turn into something them all scared the most at that place at that time. It knows well elder student don't fall for his petty tricks. It only needs younger children whom could scare simply and all at the same time at once. It prepares a show which opens to their own principal's freak show, whom was the worst boredom fear for all those children. It threw his wig down exactly the same as all those young children imagined of him, and slaughtered him into pieces in front of their scared innocent eyes. It became their worst new common fear. Then it shined darkly onto them and stabbed their soul all at once at the same time, and turned them all into his circus members. But not army, only as circus members, circus puppets, to play all other people in a bigger scale and a colder circus on the frozen river. Following all of this, Ronnie, Lily and Marge appear at the top of the tower as ever, as the only place them all feel safe together, looking down to the town being covered gradually but not accidentally by a dark thin fog, as they are looking to their worst fear they could imagine from above. They jumped out the tower scared, and as they saw all them friends on papers as the missing people, scared more, and it turns them into panic during the fall to the school. Facing with others' worst fear, principal's slaughtered body parts, this seems to them disgusting, but at the moment a paper flows to Lily, who is weaker than the others, and they see Will's photo as a missing person. Now they have panicked to the bone. Marge seems daring to do anything she could to kill this demonic clown. She jumps on the milkman truck. She doesn't know how to drive, but she tries, as Lily has the dagger in her bag. Them all trio follow the bloodline on the ground, going after their classmates. Milkman, as a symbol of egotistic personality, beats these brave trio passing through, leading by Marge the Brave, who already has been affected by a real sacrifice of a true love. She has touched the heroic spirit. This all happens as Major Hanlon arrives home and makes a call to talk to Will, but he didn't pick up the phone. As he cut the phone and about to leave, the phone rang and he picked up. It was Pennywise on the other side. Had his son as a hostage and treated him by that. We can say all this happened inside him. Just because of him, losing his son to this evil clown was his worst fear. This scene reminded me of the Dark Knight movie, the moment when the hung-up Joker was mesmerizing to seduce and break Bruce Wayne's heroic soul as the Batman, and he declines listening to him. As he tries to scare him to the bone and makes him to do the wrong, he just leaves and decides to take this dark burden for the sake of Gotham's soul. And this is all because this scene has turned into an archetype itself as a final challenge for a hero to break his boundaries but unsuccessful. Because Hanlon is incorruptible. Hanlon goes to Halloran, their psychic mate, asking him for help. Halloran is confused with everything he hears and sees around. He didn't want even to listen to him. But as he mentioned on Will, Halloran changed his mind and accepted to help him saving his son. Halloran was absolutely hopeless, about to finish himself for nothing, and being a sacrifice of the illusions that this devil clown was opposing on him by his negative dark force. But in reality, he still had that innocent childlike spirit who always hoped for peace, like a wounded warrior. There is a huge panic in the town, and General Shaw gave arrest order for Hanlon and Halloran and left to the river, where is now all frozen, looking for Pennywise. This is General Shaw seems wanting to use Pennywise, this dancing evil clown, as a weapon, as he already mentioned on that to Major Hanlon about Russian missile war plan. From this other corner, Hanlon takes Halloran to Rose and Charlotte. Rose exposes the secret about those pillars and the dagger, and by an ancient herbal tea, sends Halloran to find this dagger in peace and safety, and this attempt seemed to be successful. Now Halloran has seen not only the dagger, but those innocent children whom were chasing after the bloody clown to save their friends. Now they only needed to go to the frozen river to not only save them, but to bury back the dagger under the ancient tree. But as Rose mentioned, they don't have enough time, and it's just because of what the stone does to children's mind. And the final countdown begins. Now the story plot has been broken into 3 different but connected situations. And at the center of this triad, this is it, Pennywise, the little dancing clown, rolling his death army on the icy river as the angel of death taking Passover souls to the upside down. It has turned everything into a hell of a snow, cold and ice through the town. Children experienced a heavy car crash and they were moving forward by foot, following the bloodline to the origins of their worst fear. As the stone was playing with Lily's mind, whom was the biggest one of them. But all the time it was one-eyed Marge who could see through the forefront and becomes aware. Points to the power of love within her and her passion to remove this darkness with her devoted love. Maybe she had only one eye to see, also worn glasses, but she had this power from within. And it was the moment when everything was possible, the moment miracles could happen, and it happened at last. And brave Ronnie, who showed her deep trust on Lily by reminding her of being a lifeboat. When this happens, no fears can work. Pennywise tries to capture them too, tries to scare them, but as it couldn't, pushed Marge by one foot and instead eating her, made a prediction from the future and made her to believe on what was saying to happen. It predicted of Marge having a son named Richie after Passover Richie, who will kill Pennywise at last. Also reminded Marge that its death will be its birth again. It claims to be able to move through the time, from the past to the future, only to make this fake trust in Marge's unconscious mind to believe in her own having a son named Richie who will destroy Pennywise finally. And Pennywise makes this prediction based on her current feeling and thoughts, just puts a deal in between. It can move through the time, then its death will become its birth. And all this happens at the final moments of its freaking die. And maybe if Pennywise never talked to Marge about the future and her son Richie as the killer of Pennywise, they could destroy it forever and to the eternity at that time. Because it is exactly what we have hid within ourselves, about our deepest fears and yearnings. It has become a part of our soul and our mind, become a part of our very past memories we still remember, think about, and haven't closed it at last. It causes that doubt in the corner of our mind and becomes the cliffhanger point which we always return to, our deepest fears. And we will manifest them back into our lives only by reminding that, even for a moment, it becomes a part of our collective memory through our bloodlines from the past to the last. It means that Pennywise signed its name in Marge's mind before being vanished, only as a cliffhanger in her mind, to be manifested again, even being killed by her son, but it would be another turn back point, like a loophole. And this is the reason for its consistency in Derry. It lives through different lores, which has been prophesied by itself and has turned into too many cliffhangers in different people's mind as its turning back point. only to create its own cycle of mischievous life, to make deals, trap minds and souls to return every 27 years to Derry. Halloran seems to be able to trap Pennywise in one of Bob Gray's memories, and Marge had this opportunity to run back to her friends. And Halloran could freeze Pennywise in this timeline and cause all children woken back to life. But this time, Pennywise is frozen. General Shaw seems to be its loyal servant attached to people. A shooting happens and Daniel being shot to death. Oh yeah, Penny is living in Francis's mind. He was curiously looking for it even through all those fog and snow. He was delighted to finally meeting Pennywise, and he was such a satisfied general as he was thinking if he could use this evil clown as a psychological weapon only to gain more power and control over the people, not only in Derry but in a bigger worldwide scale. I think this dark entity already had the prophecy for Francis, and just because of that, he was thinking of it that much as caused him to come back around, not only to visit her pure childlike savior and crush Rose, but egotistically to find and meet it once again, because he had this thirst for power within him and wanted to use it as a personal weapon. He was fully fell in its trap, and now Pennywise finished him fatality one piece at one time. Francis Shaw's childhood is the opposite point of Will's childhood in his interaction with Ronnie. This opposition is a proof to the fact. After all, Hanlon asks Will to take the dagger to the tree, gives him support, encouraged him to do that. We saw already Rose mentioned on the negative power of mind playing stone, which could cause anxiety for children and causes their death. But it never happened to them only because they were so loving, daring and brave, and so innocent to have any points of doubt and weakness and fear in this friendship. We see as Halloran and Rose both looking forward, Rose could see Chief Sasky, but it seems Halloran saw more. It was Richie appeared running to help his friends as he was showing his middle finger to Pennywise. Let me attract your attention to a very important fact about Pennywise prophecy for Marge. It mentions on Richie who kills Pennywise. It says this is her son who she has named after Richie. Now, at this point, if Marge didn't believe in its prophecy, this Richie Pennywise talked about would be Richie's spirit. Tell you why. In this scene, Richie's soul appears as the light and spirit of love against the dark evil we know already as Pennywise. May, if everyone believed in this light, which Marge calls through friendship, they could banish this evil spirit to the hell for the rest of their lives to the eternity. At last, we see everything ends up happily ever after. Until next 27 years, when they all Derry residents believe it will come back. At the end, we see 27 years have passed and the show is being connected to the It movie when the origins began. It has turned the show into prequels for the movies. Pennywise's essence is fear, but it is the worst type of collective fear which has came from the past from our childhood times, maybe the first time we felt lonely and scared to the depth of our souls. Or it's deeper than that. And it came from our old legends, from our ancestors, received through old ancient beliefs and cultures, which makes us to revoke it over and over again. Everything you ever believe in will be manifested in your life back. As we saw Mrs. Kirsch in the mental institution, all those times she became an old woman, still manifesting Pennywise back through her drawing. Pennywise looks like a virus came out and being spread from a mental institution, maybe Juniper Hill. Finally, this episode being closed in the season finale, and there are too many things come to mind to predict for next season. The ending scene made a connection to It movie, which was in connection with the prophecy Pennywise made on Marge and her son, as the one who kills Pennywise at the end, and It's death will be It's birth too. Marge was worried about the past, if Pennywise would move to the past to finish her parents. And at the final moment, it was Mrs. Kirsch as a connection to the next season with It movie, and maybe we will have two timelines at the same time in next season. Especially when prophecy says Marge has named his son after her brave teenage lover Richie, to make a connection between Richie and how he comes back as Marge's son to finally finish Pennywise and this dark entity of Derry. We also saw Ronnie and Will were concerned about their future and didn't want to forget each other because of what Derry does to people's mind. Will decided to write Ronnie letters to stop her forgetting about whatever it takes. And this may turn into a storyline connected to those letters Will has sent Ronnie about Derry after Pennywise. We saw Halloran went to work in a hotel in London. Who knows, may these kids met after all these years at the hotel Halloran again in London. Because now Halloran is the expert psychic in the story, and when he moves to London, we can expect a piece of a story connects to him. And finally, after all these years, we have Hanlon's family at the hierarchies in Derry. Pennywise shined on all young students in Derry, and we still don't know what happens to those who look into its shine. As we saw in episode finale, when they woke, they couldn't remember where they were on those fainted moments. I'm sure this shine has affected all the minds, which we will see in the future in season 2. What do you think, and what's your guess for season 2? Share your ideas here in the comment section. In my next reviews, I will discuss more on it and the essence of this collective fear and how to conquer that. This is part 3. Watch part 4 for the rest of the breakdown as it released. Subscribe to my channel and turn the bell on to get notified as other next parts being released. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the Movie Gangstar. Thank you for watching. See y'all in the next review. For now, love and light in peace.